has died, and you are now faced with what seems inconceivable: life without your child.
So here I was, no baby, no job.
Throughout this video, parents who have suffered the loss of a child share their stories of grief and offer hope in finding life again.
There is a depth of love that is greater than even the loss, and that healing is possible.
This video is for any parent who has experienced the death of a child, and for those who aim to help someone who is grieving. This sort of grief can sometimes take a lifetime to heal, but it has to begin somewhere, sometime. With this video, you will be introduced to topics such as knowing you are not alone, dealing with the loss of hopes and dreams, grieving the death of a baby, the family's grief journey, and how to honor and remember your child. Chris Ford, founder of My Healing Place, and Paula D'Arcy, founder of the Redbird Foundation, work with adults and children as they move through grief. Both Chris and Paula's work has been deeply influenced by their first-hand experiences with the death of a child.
My son Stephen was killed in an automobile accident at age 16. Left home one morning for school, and that afternoon on the way home was in an accident. My world changed dramatically from then on.
My daughter Sarah was almost 2 years old when she was killed. We were in an automobile accident that involved a drunk driver. Our car was hit, and both Sarah and her father lost their lives. I was 3 months pregnant, and in a shock I wouldn't have believed. When you lose a child, something has happened that is just unthinkable. It's something that seems to shatter the foundation of your very life. It breaks the order of the universe, and there's no preparation. There's no way anybody has ever simulated this with any other kind of loss.
Without knowing that we believe that we are going to see our children grow older and that they will be there for us. If my child is not going to live for me to see them grow old and their children, then what is true? What can I believe if I can't believe that?
One of the things, even in losing a young child, was, does life have meaning even though it's brief? Like, what is life? What are we doing here? Dare I love, knowing that the risk of any love actually is that one day one of us, will not be here? I was asking myself something as basic as, will I enter back into life now that I've seen this power that obviously has always been here, but I'd never seen it play its hand before. And now that I know this, now that I know in the blink of an eye things can change, will I be able really to enter into life wholeheartedly?
My son died just a little over a year ago, and I'm still finding it hard to sleep. I'll sleep really late in the morning then, and sometimes 2 or 3 hours after I've gotten up, I need a nap. It's just little routine things in life that most people just do without even thinking. It's a huge chore for me.
Grief takes an awful lot of energy, right? I mean, it's work. It's really hard work. And so, as you're struggling with grief, these, quote, mundane things that you mentioned become so hard to do. In fact, maybe you don't even have the energy to do them, but you still have the energy. It's just that the grief is now sucking the life out of you, right? Or it feels that way, and I've certainly felt that way. And then everything else just becomes a struggle. My oldest daughter, Maya, died now 4.5 years ago, and I'd like to share with you and hope that things will get better, that the energy comes back. I don't know that we're ever the way we were before. I don't want to be the way I was before. We learned too many insights and too many really powerful, valuable lessons, like sitting in a group like this, sharing our commonalities, which is that we all suffer loss. And I remember an oncology nurse said this at the hospital. She said the only way to get through hell is to go through hell. And in going through grief, we have to keep going. And if it means getting dressed in the afternoon or balancing your checkbook 6 months later, that's just what it means, in my opinion. I'm no expert, I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist, but I do have an understanding of the work. It's really, really hard work.